SJ there, everybody. Little SJ in the background. Live. We're live,
well,
John.
It's because the cat's away.
I know. And
Hello.
I'd love to say we're
Can
super
we just
duper
say,
organised.
Natasha, hello. I hope your back is feeling better. And can everybody send lots of good wishes to the lovely Natasha?
Yes.
She hurt her back because she may or may not have, you can decide, pulled, what was it, about 675 million tonnes worth of sparkly yumminess?
Yeah, absolutely.
All
so
sparkly yumminess.
Our sparkly goodies had come to us in our lorry, and she single-handedly chose to unpack it to save everyone else potentially hurting themselves.
Yep.
The day before she went on holiday.
Well, I think that was so she didn't have to record with me.
Which I did instead, which was fabulous. She's absolutely adamant that's not what did her back.
Oh, yes.
No.
What was it?
She was just, I don't know, reaching down for her socks or something, or her underwear, I don't know. And she thinks that's what did her back. I said, nothing to do with the day before having unloaded
literally, there must have
the
been about
horse lorry.
6 tonnes worth of stuff in there.
Crazy.
And it is a 7.5 tonne lorry, so it can't be wrong. But
I'm not going to say there's 6 tonnes, but there was a lot of stuff. So,
but it's so lovely.
It's Craft Corner, John.
No, it's gorgeous.
So,
but what I love is Gemma's office, normally clean, pristine, empty. Walked in today, opened the door, and I thought I'll just close that and not let Gemma in because there's so much gorgeousness in there.
It's horrific. I got here and you just went, don't go in your
room
office.
Don't go in your office.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
So good.
Auntie Lizzie Crangle's with us. Good
Lizzie
morning.
Crangle, hello, my God, how are you?
She's she's with us. She says, good morning, beauties.
Oh no, that's her. That's you, plural. Because you are looking pretty. Can we do a twirl?
Well, we've both gone a bit exotic holiday
you look
today,
amazing.
haven't we?
Wafted in. You definitely need a wafting coat.
Thank you. I waft everywhere.
You're fabulous.
I decided to go boho rather than boo-hoo when I put weight on post hysterectomy. Rona Mills with us. Good morning, Rona. How you doing?
Morning.
Good stuff. John, I'm just going to explain a few bits and bobs.
Can I just say, I've never seen a laptop like this before because normally it's on the phone and I quite like this.
I'm normally over there tapping.
I know.
And of course somebody's still got to tap. So I thought we'll have it here.
Well,
I will move it to the side in a minute. I've got camera angles over here.
I struggle enough just
all
putting
of that.
stitches and things. I'm definitely not dealing with the technology.
No.
But I did steal your brooch.
You did. It suits you, sir. It
So
suits
cute.
you. It's fabulous. To those who are tuning in and going, this is Natasha Makes. Where is she? She's on holiday.
Holidays.
She flew out.
Where has she gone?
Croatia.
It does look very nice.
I know. Do you know, only Tash could say to me on Friday as she was lay on the warehouse floor, howling in pain, and I'm on the phone to her saying, you need to get to the doctor so they can give you some lovely strong painkillers or you're not going to get on that flight in the morning. Only she could lie there and say, this is timed really well though, this couldn't have happened at a better time. And I said, what? She said, well, because I've not got to do anything next week. Because ordinarily she's here, she's doing the shows, she's, mucking out the horses, she's throwing out half a ton of hay every day for the horses, all of that. So, God love her.
So maybe it was just picking up her underwear off the floor.
Who knows? But she's done
Poor
her
girl.
back.
Well, hope she feels better.
But she is in Croatia, she's having a fabulously sunny
what
holiday.
lovely food have they got in Croatia that she might be having for a little breakfast?
But she's put some lovely photographs on social for anyone who follows her on Facebook or whatever.
Oh, very nice.
Beautiful scenic views.
Quite nice,
She's having a massage every day.
Dreadful.
To try and help this terribly painful back. So
how will she cope?
Quite. In the meantime, however, John, I'm in
We're
charge.
back at work.
Hey.
Yes.
So
can we go for lunch?
always, of course. I haven't got anything to do. Nothing to do. Not my own job.
It's a mini empire to run.
It's all fine. But yes, I did decide we'd got a few things we were going to feature today.
But you know what I love about these? These are really important, essential things.
Oh, we'll talk about those in a moment.
Oh my God, I love these. Because these are one of those things that you buy and you may not use for a while, but if you then decide to do an English paper piecing block, and then you're like, where's my thimble?
Exactly.
And it's important to have these in your little stash waiting to go when you do decide to use them.
John, we'll go through those in a moment when we go through your pattern.
Love.
However, I've got a few little shenanigaty bits.
Yes.
So, Craft Corner, we've just mentioned a little while ago. We had the horse lorry full of fabulous things.
You know it's good when Emily takes most of it.
Boxes and boxes. Oh, little Emily has had a haul of beautiful, sparkling things.
So beautiful. Even I'm stealing them.
I know. And this is the thing. There are some really fabulous crafting items Natasha was able to get at an irresistible price. And as much as we try and instill decent business acumen into Natasha, it doesn't always work because she's a crafter first.
No, she's a magpie.
And a magpie second.
Shiny.
And somewhere back in the distance, she's a businesswoman.
Oh, so when you look after that part
I
of the
do
business.
try and look after that bit. So when she got this huge, amazing amount of sparkly beautifulness in our craft corner, she was like, well, we'll just let everyone have it really cheap. We'll let everyone have a chance to get these things really
But
cheaply.
she has done that.
She's so sweet. And it's lovely of her. There have been times where I've gone, woman, you could charge 4 times that amount and it would still be insanely cheap. And she's gone, don't care. I want everyone to be excited like I am and have the chance to craft, because she knows, having been a crafter first and probably having set up this business mostly so she could have her own gigantic stash, she knows what it's like.
That's what I do.
I know, it's what we all do. But she knows what it's like to want to buy all your crafty bits and to have to run to a budget. So if you haven't been across to Craft Corner, please do. SJ set up a whole separate section. So if you go and have a look under the shop, you'll see there's one that says Craft Corner. There's sparkly things and all sorts. And
do you know
things
what I did
are being
when I
added
did it?
every day.
I put my timer on, because if you spend a little bit too much time in there, it's not good. It's a bit like Pinterest.
You also watch things disappear.
Oh no, because that's it. You can't, once they're gone, they're gone. You can't get them again.
For most of these bundles, we might have, 5, we might have 10, we might have 15. That's it. And when they've gone, we can't get any more. And we have all sorts of things. And it's not just sparkly stuff, We have this fabulous pearl trim. I know, look at this. It's like a ribbon, but not. It's like chainmail, but pearl stuff. Should we go close up and have a little peek?
That's really pretty.
So yeah, I mean that would just look amazing.
Do you know who would love this? Is that they Rachel Ilsley?
That's cuffs, That's cuffs for me. Yeah, no, just around a denim jacket or anything. It'd be amazing.
Gosh, that looks really beautiful.
It would be really great to kind of,
wait. Don't do
something
that,
up.
don't do that, because I've just seen this bit of sparkliness. And I'm sure this is in Craft Corner here. This is not Jewellery Maker by any stretch of imagination, but look at that. Or you can have them dangling from the bottom. They can hear you coming as you dangle along. They're gorgeous. Oh, sorry.
John, so macho, John. So macho of you this morning.
Well, you see, Festival of Quilts is coming up, so you've got to have new outfits for Festival.
I know. And, I mean, you wouldn't like anything in Craft Corner because, you're in no way flamboyant at all.
Rude.
I don't know anyone.
Rude.
I don't know anyone.
Since I have stolen the little brooch for today, and then I've seen this, and I'm like, I don't even know, what would that be?
Oh, that, I'm going to say now.
Is it a bag slider?
I think you'll find when you put your scarf on, you slide your scarf through there, Yeah. Let's show you. I'm not sure whether these are up individually yet.
No, nor do I.
But they will be at some point. Look at those. She says, let me just put my hand behind them because we don't always get everything. There we are. You can get a better focus.
This is the brooch I stole.
I'm very boring now. Sorry, everybody. Not painted today. But yeah, look at that. A little bit of sparkle. Let's move that around. You can see in the light.
It's really pretty.
Aren't they gorgeous? And, these things that we've got in, they are so beautiful. But something like that, there's very clever ways you can work a scarf with these. You feed it through and pull it this way and that. And,
I've just realised now, having the...
dangling from your
That's
bottom.
exactly... I've never been able to read the comments while we're here. Elizabeth Crangle, you naughty lady. That's very funny.
I'll be honest, I spend the majority of my life reading them and not reading them out.
Yeah, you can't.
There's quite a few that I
hold
hold
back. So Lizzie Crangle so far has commented the day.
I filter these and hold them back so whoever's presenting and demonstrating, aka you and Tash or whoever, doesn't get to know. And now you can see the laptop. I had not considered this.
It's all right.
It's perhaps a let's move the laptop moment.
No! I want to see. But if you are going to move them, I'm going to move your coffee just over there.
That's fine.
Because
I have got this.
Can we just, while we're here, can we just do a little bit of strokeage? Little bit of strokeage.
I'm just going to put a public service announcement out there, a little, public health warning.
Just before we do this,
John is like
gone. It's gone.
John is like Tigger at the best of times. But what did you do this morning, John? What did you drink before we went to where when I offered you a tea?
I'm saying nothing. I'm on a diet. I can only have 12 calories a year. I am just eating and drinking what I possibly can that contains no calories and enough caffeine to sustain my life.
And some form of energy drink went into his system about 20 minutes before we went to air. So I apologise in advance for anybody who is struggling to follow John.
Because we have to stitch faster today.
He is
English paper piecing.
Bouncing this morning. Okay, so for those of you, you'll have seen this demonstration, I am sure. I wanted to show you a bag. The bag is very beautiful. It is also not here because Madam appears to have taken it on holiday with her. She made
all of these beautiful makes deserve to travel.
She made something fantastic not all that long ago called the Rain Duffel, And this is a free download that you can get from Ruby Star Society. It's one I found and I sent it to Natasha and I said, oh, hello. I said, this has got your name all over it.
It really does.
And she said, oh my gosh, I've got to make it.
That's the one she made with the big floral fabric.
Absolutely, John.
I remember now.
That's exactly what she did. So we got the beautiful, beautiful canvas fabrics. We got one that was called African Daisies. Yeah, they're called osteospermums. That's the Italian.
Oh, excuse me.
Italian? No, the Latin. What am I on about? But she made one with osteospermums on. Beautiful. She's also started, and not quite finished because, you know, she's gone on holiday, making one, I know, in the heart flower.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
It's a lovely, lovely project, and it is a free download.
Sorry, it's got this rose gold metallic in it.
Just you wait.
Oh,
so she started making her second one, but she's been using the first one to go to the gym. Takes all her gym gear in it. She's clearly taken it with her for holiday. She's going to have several of these, I know. The hardware was really difficult to come by. We have got the hardware on its way. Some of it's arrived in some colours. We're waiting for some others, but we've sourced the hardware especially for you. We'll make sure that that's added to the collection. But the reason I'm mentioning that today, because she has done a demonstration on this before.
It wasn't that long ago. It was
I
only
know,
about 2 weeks ago.
it really wasn't that long ago. And they've been really popular. The reason I mention it is because two beautiful new canvases, which you see here and here, as John says, have come through from Ruby Star. These are from the Camellia collection. Now, we had something else from Camellia. It's Melody Miller design for Ruby Star. But we had something else from the Camellia collection, which was a backing fabric. Oh, Karen bought some to make a frock, you know.
This I can imagine.
Let me
can
just
I
go
just stop
overhead
before you go
for a
any
sec.
further?
Yeah, yeah.
Because, can I just say how gorgeous the selvage is?
Oh, they always are.
Because
You
the
love
selvage
a
is actually one of those ones that you could use as a bag handle.
There we go, everyone can
How
see.
beautiful is that? Or if you're just making a little pocket, imagine that being the top of your little pocket.
Absolutely.
Oh, 80% cotton, 20% linen.
Stunning.
Made in that there, Japan.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? And as John rightly says, can you see the metallic sheen on this? The Ruby Star canvases are just stunning.
They really are.
But this
lovely.
little bit of gold sheen, let's go close
And
up,
it
John.
feels so luxurious. It's not a...
It's a beautiful weight, isn't it?
It's lovely.
There we go. There we go. Now you can see the
If I put
metallic.
my finger there, will that help with
There
the
we
shininess?
are.
No.
Look at that.
I
It's
did.
beautiful. And I think this would make really nice. Well, actually, do you know what I want? I want a little footstool / tuffet out of this. I think that would be
we
beautiful.
like a good tuffet.
Yeah, we do, we do. I think this would be fabulous for
beautiful.
cushions. You'd reupholster a
But I
chair,
think for a
wouldn't you?
bag, it's a really good
Yes.
idea for a bag.
Yes. So the bundle that we've put together is on a really fantastic price. We have 2 meters of the canvas and a meter of plain. We've put it together with, look at this.
Natural seeded.
Natural seeded. Just works.
Really does.
And you're not
And the
getting
thing
the,
with
you're
the
not getting the
natural
colour through the
seeded-
natural
Well, I was
seeded.
gonna say,
There's
do you wanna do it close
speckles.
up?
Let's see if it shows, John.
I'm sure it will.
Let's see if it shows.
If I move it like that. You can see there's a little brown dot in it.
There is
And
a
it is
texture.
called natural seeded. They really, and it works,
Which
so
works.
well, the two together.
Can you see? There we go.
You've all got such a great
Lovely.
eye for these.
Just stunning, aren't they? They're lovely. Sue Langford says, stop trying to be so professional and let us play, Gemma. I'm ever so sorry. Hey,
Story of my
I
life
at least
today.
need to try, she says. If I can get the camera angles to change, it always helps. But I'm only trying to do all the tech. It's fine.
Look at that.
We do have to try, have some premise of being a little bit professional. We have to try, don't we, John? We have to try.
You see, now this is lovely. However, we
Beautiful.
all have a different favourite colour.
Yes. Is yours this one, John?
Maybe. What I'm going to say is rose gold metallic.
So this one's your peacock.
Oh,
There we go. So if we go like
again,
this,
sorry, I'm just
I
going
will close up it for
to
you.
waft the sausage, the sausage, waft the selvage for you. Oh my God, I'm on a roll today. Oh, I'm not having Red Bull ever again.
Sausage anywhere.
Look at that selvage.
How did it go, Gemma? How did it go? Well, it's all right, Tash,
John
but
was
about
wafting his
14
sausage.
minutes in, John was threatening to waft his sausage everywhere.
Just look at that metallic though. You can see how
Oh,
beautiful
it's
that is.
stunning. It's stunning. And the great thing about this is we have managed to put with it the beautiful, you can't say it in a normal voice, gold! In here, you can't work
Might
here.
need to go a little bit that way.
You can't work here unless you say gold. Oh, look at the colour. It looks
That
so
is
washed
true.
out on the screen. Right, let's try overhead.
Do you know what I'm thinking? No, I don't know. Now I just
can't
look at
always
this.
see it,
I'm
can you?
going travelling, and I'm looking at this, and I'm wondering.
You are, aren't
when
you?
you go travelling for the period of time I'm going travelling, you need trunks.
There you go. You can see a little better there.
Do you know those like big giant Louis Vuitton trunks that you used to
yes.
get? Now I've always wanted to get one, but then cover it in something amazing. Can you imagine covering it in this?
And again, John is talking about a travelling trunk, like to put your like a big
Just an overnight bag, really.
type jobbing.
That they used to take on the big
Yes.
cruises back in the day.
Yes, not swimming trunks.
No,
Somewhere to keep your sausage.
no one wants to see this in the ocean. I'll be harpooned by someone.
Oh, Vicky says I'm going to need a stiff gin by the end of the show, and Sue Langford is
Well, have
dying.
you had one already, Vicky? Come
Dying with
on.
laughter. Oh no, Vicky feels that wafting any sausage will earn you Facebook jail, John. We might go to the cafe after this.
I'm
They
not
do a
going anywhere
great
near any
sausage.
sausages. I can't.
Are you wanting to go close up again, John? Or is this what we're
I
doing?
just thought it looked so good.
He's loving all this, look. You feel like the lady on the Generation game. Or that woman from Play
But
Your
it
Cards
is
Right with the big
interesting.
cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that the colours don't really show the vibrancy of the gold in the fabrics there, but you can tell there, those
Yes.
really are so vibrant.
And the gold is a
beautiful.
really good
It is
match
very
for this.
close
It's
to this
very
gold
close.
here.
A little lighter, but not anywhere near as much as it looks
No.
on the
Isn't
screen.
it funny how cameras do that?
Oh, it's so annoying. Well, it's like, how many times have I seen people with Cadbury purple bridesmaid dresses and you take photos and they come out royal blue?
Can I
It's
just
the
stroke this for
mystery.
the rest
Yes,
of the show?
you can. John, do you just need to buy this kit?
No, I haven't.
Yes, yes,
Do you have
yes.
any idea how much fabric I have?
Oh, well, I have
Look
a fair
more.
idea. You showed me round your house. I saw a lot of it. It was insane.
Can I tell you a secret?
Go on.
I forgot we have a storage unit.
And there's a storage unit with fabric in it that you just casually forgot about. Don't you
I
wish
can
you
neither
had John's
confirm
problems?
nor deny.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Yes, Claire Angelini, you rightly noticed the close-up is working today. I came in last week to do some pre-recording with somebody.
I won't deny I'm a little bit excited about this one, just a little bit. And all I'm going to go is bee, just a little bee.
We had a fun time, didn't we?
Oh, it's fabulous.
We've been pre-recording a little series and
We're
we
almost
got the
there.
close-up working.
And we got the pre-records working.
And we got the pre-records working.
All by ourselves.
Yes, it was
I had no part in any of it.
It was a productive day.
It was
And then we went
fabulous.
for a curry.
We did. That curry was dreadful. It was awful.
was
Do not go to the
definitely-
Masala Club in
no.
Bus. Was it
Balsall
Balsall
Common.
Balsall
Balsall Common.
Now, Balsall Common Premier Inn.
Yes.
Half the people I know who are going to festival are staying at that
Oh,
Premier Inn.
really? Oh, they need to go to that
I've told them
Indian.
already.
It's good.
We're going Friday night.
It's
Oh,
good.
okay.
We told them what to have.
No, they can figure that out. Paul McCartney.
One of my lovely
Remember
friends.
what it was actually called.
Bless her. One of my friends. We went to the Indian and she said, "Oh, I'm going to order this." She said, and I always remember what it's called because I always think Paul McCartney and it was a prawn McCartney.
McCartney, that's what it was. I was
You had a
thinking
chicken
malarkey.
McCartney, didn't you? No.
Was it chicken or prawn? Yeah, it was chicken. It was chicken.
Yeah,
It's
but
so dreadful.
she always remembers it
Awful.
as prawn.
You won't like it.
Prawn
But
McCartney.
what did you have as your naan?
Oh, keema.
Keema naan.
Keema naan.
Oh my goodness, every part of me.
You made me laugh, John, because he walked in and he said, "Do you know, I've not been for a curry since before Brexit." And I was like, since when is Brexit the yardstick for before and after?
I no longer discuss Brexit. I just leave the things be. It's just easier. We just leave.
I had no idea that people did that before Brexit, after Brexit. Oh,
Yep.
dear.
BCAC. BB. What is it? No, BB. AB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Vicky, having said I will need a stiff gin, Danny's just saying just the one.
Just the one. Quite right.
Probably should have had one before. That might have helped the whole situation. SJ, I'm sure, will post a link to today's products in the thread. If not, I should do it in a little while. But talking of SJ, she has some Friday deals. Now, for those of you who don't subscribe to the Friday newsletter, you're missing out.
I love your newsletter.
I know, she puts deals in every Friday. Every Friday. And we don't spam you with a newsletter every day or anything like that. There's always value to them. So certain days of the week, there'll be one that comes out to tell you what shows are on that week.
That was yesterday.
She will put one out that says, the Half Meat Heavens, that goes out in a newsletter. But she will put one out on a Friday with little exclusive deals, which kind of means that I shouldn't put them on the show. However, she's not here.
I was going to say Tasha's away.
She's working
Can I just
remotely.
ask, where are my bag patterns that I can't strike anymore? You've taken them very
I put
far
them
away
behind.
from me.
Yeah, I put them behind. So one of the deals that SJ put up on Friday was the sarong to kimono pattern, free when you buy one of the Lisa Chandler sarongs. So we will show you. In fact, John, I feel like we need to just pop this across you. Look. Oh, you could wear that as well. Orange suits
I would wear
you,
this.
John.
I wouldn't go that far.
No,
but I
it
definitely
looks
would wear
great. But no, she's done a deal with this one. So the pattern that you would normally pay...
It's like Lisa Chandler.
It is.
Oh.
So SJ likes to do her little deals, and she's really generous because there you have got your sarong and your pattern with $5.99. Really simple make. Really simple make. You want to go close up again, do you, John? Look, he's really into this now.
Well,
Are you ready? It's got to go down, back.
But wait.
That way.
Look, it's Tash.
It is Tash.
But look at that sarong.
But it's great. We did just get, in fact, it was Susie Duncan who designed this pattern for us.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah. It's lovely.
It's really pretty.
Really lovely. It's a good one, isn't it? Love it. I can see buzzy things going on my wrist.
Yep,
There
you've got
is
to check.
more
Boss is watching.
craft corner. No, it's not her.
Oh, is it Craft Corner?
Well, SJ, she's a boss. She is boss of the craft corner, and there is shenanigans going on. So please do keep an eye on Craft Corner over the course of this week. We're going to try and load up new deals every day. Tash is on holiday. We thought it'd just be nice for you to have lots of lovely little deals as a thank you for watching as well. She's not here because
But once
I know
they're gone, they're
I am
gone. Don't hang around.
I am a substitute, John. They get a foot less off presenter when I'm on. So I feel it's only fair that we put some little deals out.
You
I
had a
did have
stool or something you were
I'm
standing
not
on.
entirely sure it's a good idea for me to stand on that. I was going to put heels on today, but they're over there. I decided to stay in my flats. So we have other deals as well that are available. We also have our bolt end sale. Now the bolt end sale came about because Jane decided one day she was cutting some fabric and there was just that amount left on the end of the bolt that would be right to do, I think it's about 3 meters, to do a nice big quilt. And she said, I'm going to take this home because I'll back a quilt with it.
Yeah.
So we took the stock down, and then she started doing this a bit, going, I think I'm going to have a little stash of bolt ends that I'll have to back quilts with.
What I've started doing now with my bundles, you know, I'm a huge fan of these Ziploc bags.
Oh, yes.
So what I've been doing is every project that I've started, and we all have hundreds of UFOs.
We do.
What I find is really good at the minute is to actually go through your finding backings for the project at the time. And when you've got everything in one box or one bag, you put the backing with it, you put the pattern with it, and you put the UFO with it, the thread, all your notes, everything in one place, so that you know that that is a finished product ready to go when you're ready to just pick up a box and go.
And then you know where you are, don't you?
But it's also then you know that when you see a fabric that you know that you're working with reds, greens and blues or whatever on the front, if you see something that matches that perfectly for the back, it's silly not to get it at the time.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
normally you're getting it at a bit of a cheaper price by doing it that time as well.
John, I look like I'm being really rude, but we've lost the comments on the screen, so I'm now just, you know, faffing on my phone to pull the comments up. I can't lose everybody. No, it's not though. It's just got our pinned post and it's not showing all the others. Look, we've lost the slider, which is fine because I have it here on my phone. There we are.
I think she turned them all off because I kept reading them.
Well, exactly. was I that transparent? Was it that obvious? But the bolt end sale, the bolt end sale has sort of progressed from there now. So Tash went through the warehouse and tashed it, where she went, well, I'll find lots of fabulous things to go in the bolt end sale because you all said how much you loved it. Yes, absolutely. And she grabbed lots of different fabrics and we've been measuring them out, weighing them, loading them as bolt ends. They are flying out. So you'll find those in the fabric clearance section. I have added some more today.
Yay.
And I will keep doing bit by bit as much as I can. Obviously this week is a busy old week, but yes, keep an eye on the fabric clearance section, keep an eye on Craft Corner, and then everything for today's show, including these bundles and deals we've just shown you, they are in today's collection. You will find those on the Watch Live page. If you scroll down and click all products, everything's there, including John's patterns. The fabric here, that's by the ½ metre as well as being in the bundles. So anyone who does want to use it for some upholstery, some cushions or
Just
anything
putting
else.
on the wall and stroking it.
Absolutely. I've also tagged Tracy's bumblebee pattern today because John very kindly brought this really beautiful bumblebee in.
Isn't it gorgeous?
The original one, she says. This is our original one. The original one
isn't it? Yes.
is quite large, isn't it, John? So the pattern that you get creates this. There you go, you grab that one.
Oh,
There we are.
eventually I'll do this right.
It's all right. Lovely big quilt. Gorgeous.
But honestly, this is so good. And is this the one you did with Quilter's Grid or not?
No, we
No.
did this. We did the stag with Quilter's Grid.
So what I love about Tracy's pattern is she does a table at the very front of it, and you can scale it up or scale it down. So you can stick to the size per the pattern.
You can.
But if you wanted to, you could do it as 1 inch. And I think these were, I think that's 1.5 inch actually.
So all of her patterns work on
But they're all
squares,
work to scale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
squares and half square triangles. So for those of you who are new to quilting or who want to, start quilting, it's a really simple way.
Welcome.
It's a slippery slope. Vicky will tell you.
And don't
She's new.
forget, fabric curatorship, not hoarding, curatorship
Yeah.
and quilting are 2 separate hobbies.
And if you have been a fabric curator and it's getting out of hand, quilting's
Congratulations.
But quilting's a really good way of using up some fabric
Exactly.
so that you can buy some more, which I wholeheartedly support.
Well, you see, what I was doing with my friends over the weekend, because I ran a virtual retreat this weekend as well.
Oh, gorgeous,
is
John.
We were talking about our UFOs, and that
Nice.
was why the idea of putting your backing with it at the same time. Now, I
Sure.
must have easily 200 UFOs at the minute, but if you actually then have...
Thought I was bad.
No, but think of the logic on this. Wait, if you put the backing with the UFO, you've shopped your stash, so maybe your UFO pile got a bit bigger, but your stash got smaller, which means you can replace it.
This is very true.
Tell me that's not good logic.
This is very true. And I've been teaching Vicky the ways because she does like a bit of fabric buying, as we all do. And
It's rude not
there's
to.
nothing nicer, though, is there, of getting these beautifully cut fabrics and folded and stroking them all. I mean, we love and stroke your fabrics before they leave quite often. Inga's packing them going, oh, look, and she'll bring a bundle through and she'll have fanned it out on her arm and she'll go, look what this lady's
I
bought.
know.
Isn't it beautiful? Oh, I wonder what she's making with it. And then she packs it and sends it with love. So we can only imagine when it gets your end what it's like to
now,
open that package.
Be truthful, because I can say I have done this. When a client has ordered a collection of fabric, have you ever turned around and went, actually, I'm going to cut that for myself?
Yeah, cut another one. I'm
For
taking it
myself,
home.
exactly
Jane
the
and I
same
do it
thing. A
all
lot.
the time.
There's some really
It's
talented
terrible.
people out there. It's not terrible, it's
No,
wonderful.
But this is what Jane and I like.
When I went to Festival Quilt a couple of years ago, this lady had pulled out a collection of fabric and it was absolutely exquisite. And she had it all lying down. And as she laid it down, I said, can I do one thing? And I pulled 2 bolts with it and put it down. She says, I love it. So we both took half a metre of everything. And then I wish I'd given her my number or contact details to be able to see what she made. And
that would have been
it was
nice,
so
wouldn't it?
lovely.
And we have a community makes page on our
Yeah.
website, so people, please, please, please load up your makes so that we can see them. We love it. We love
gorgeous.
to see what you do with our fabrics. And sometimes people post up and they've made something that we've shown in the same colourway, etc. And it's lovely because we look and we go, everyone liked that and they've made the same. But sometimes you take something and you make it differently, or you make the same thing in a different colourway, and we look and go, wow, that looks great. So yeah, it's great when you share. We love that so much.
It is my favourite thing.
Crikey, we have so many. Here we go. So many comments. Let's just have a quick peep. Luckily, I can't go back too
I was
far
gonna
because
say, you
otherwise
haven't got
we'd
them all
be
there.
here all day. Crikey. Oh, Sylv wants some sausages now. We've set her off.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
You can have my sausages because I'm only allowed 12 calories a week.
Oh, Vicky didn't see the newsletter this week. She must investigate later. Don't miss out on those. So those deals do go quite quickly. I've tagged them today, so that probably means they'll go even more quickly. Let's have a look. Oh, and Chris, bless her, says, I love it when you lead, Gemma. You're a great presenter. That's
You
very
are.
sweet of
You're
you.
very good at
Thank you
this.
so much.
Very good.
Julia is with us. She says, fabulous logic. It's true, though.
Yeah, but it is.
It is true. We have to justify what we've got, use it,
Exactly.
move forward. So, yes. The other thing I wanted to show you today, and then that there delivery man who needs a slap, I mean, it's not necessarily his fault, it's probably someone in depot somewhere. The new Lewis and Irene bumbleberries are due to be here now.
Bom, bom, bom.
And they're not. So 2 bolts arrived. I'm due 20 odd bolts, plus something a little bit special we've got for you tomorrow. They're coming today. They are coming today. If I'm standing here tomorrow saying, they still haven't turned up, you will know I'm raging, but they are coming today.
But I do think that...
Do you know how I know they're coming today?
Well, the delivery man's terrified of you?
A fierce Yorkshire woman rang them on Friday and went, where are the rest of my bolts? That's our lovely Inga in the warehouse. She was there. I have 2 here and I should have many. Where are they?
To be fair, you've just done a really good impression of Inga.
Oh, now
she's terrifying.
Oh, now that's a good point, isn't
I
it?
love Inga,
I
but
probably
she's terrifying.
I probably shouldn't throw accents around, but my family are from Yorkshire, so I adore it, especially when Inga gets a bit cross about something. It's said in this warehouse, there's nothing worse than being quite cross, and if Inga is quite cross, we run.
Just go to the cafe and just hide there until it's calm again.
I love a cross Yorkshire person. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
I've actually seen Inga a little bit irritated.
Oh no, it's great. We'll try that later.
No,
it's not difficult to achieve.
I'm not playing with fire while I'm on a diet. No. If I'd had chocolate to get the fucking no.
You value your life, is what you're saying, John.
Exactly,
You value your life. Oh, bless you.
No, I've met Inga. I know what's good for me.
I know what's good for me, and I know what's not, says John. Are you a man or a mouse, John? Mouse.
I'm a mouse. Where Inga's concerned, I am a mouse. No question. If it was you or Tash, I'd just sit and go, but Inga, no way.
Oh. John, what did you do at the weekend? I need
So
to know
I
all
ran
this
a
stuff.
virtual retreat,
Yes.
and
I made a very, very pretty block.
Was everyone making the same thing, or was this a...
well, it was a
Everyone
combination
making
of
their own
things
thing.
because that there Libs Elliott, she had a collection a couple of years ago called Beguiled, which I adored.
Oh, we had some Beguiled.
Oh, it was beautiful.
We did.
And but it's one of those ones that people, because it was in the middle of pandemic, a lot of people didn't see it, but it's absolutely stunning.
So for those who didn't see Beguiled, there was a white background and a black background, and there was
The
neon.
exact same prints on the top. Absolutely. But most of those,
Yeah.
you know, the heart one with all the different shapes and everything,
Yes.
they're based on her tattoos.
Oh, really?
They're really
I did not
amazing.
know that.
So yeah, we all made the free project off the website from Andover.
Okay.
To do that. Some people did that, and then I took 3 hours. I know, 3 hours, and I made a lone star.
Oh,
My
nice.
points are appalling,
My
but
points are
they were
appalling.
really appalling. But when you run a virtual retreat with
Right.
people, you do need to participate.
And isn't it better complete than not?
Oh, I couldn't care less if my points are out. It's finished. It's beautiful, and I love it.
Exactly.
And anybody who's going to criticise the points and get close, well, I'll set Inga on you.
And no one wants that in their life. No one needs that. No one needs that. I'm just tapping away here because I'm just moving things around so people can find them easier. We
love it
do
when
have
she
some
does
craft
this.
corner bits and bobs.
But literally,
I know.
with that little pad, I actually think that you could run the world.
I do run the world. I mean, I run the Natasha Makes world from this.
It's true. She's not
This
wrong.
is how it is. So I'm
wrong.
also just moving the next products that we have. I'm moving them right near the top, near to today's block. What John is bringing us today is block 8 of the summer quilt.
Only one more block after this.
I know,
very
it's
excited.
flown by. But this is a big one this time, isn't it? Because you're making 4 times
Purple
2.
and 4 pink, but they're exactly the same. There's one small difference, which we'll show you in a bit. But we're making this block here all the way along. So it's these, we made those last month.
We did. Have you got that one, John, to show
Yeah, but I've got all of
everybody?
them. We can run
Oh,
through all of them because some
beautiful.
people may be a little late to the party on this.
Yes.
So shall we go into a little overhead
Oh,
situation,
that'll be lovely.
ma'am?
Let's do that for you.
Hopefully I'm in your overhead reach.
She says, come on, behave. You know when you press the overhead button twice and it decides to go into close-up? Sorry, everybody. There we
So
are.
there we go. Oh, that is a pretty picture there. So this is the quilt that we're making over here. And we started off with block 1. Now in every one of these collections, what we've done is we've done a solid block, which is what you can do as a normal if you're doing it like the quilt behind us. But we've also then cafeified it, because we've then got a series in the cave collection as well. So you can still buy, if I'm not mistaken, the kits for blocks 1 to 8
In the planes,
individually in the
for
planes
sure.
and as a bundle. So we've tried to give people a lot of choice, because the great thing with all of these is if you wanted to make a small baby quilt, these would work really well for that.
They would.
So this is a block 1, and the kits are still available on it. This was the, we'll do the planes first for block 2. That was our
Look.
planes there. But what's so good about this is, with all of these blocks, when you put 4 of them together, you do get a secondary flower.
This was one of my favourite blocks
Isn't it
because
lovely?
you turn it round various ways and you get
can.
something different each time.
Because you can do it like this as well,
Yeah,
and just
you
have them
can.
feeding in.
It's just gorgeous.
It's just such a lovely versatile block on it. I just love this. And then you've also got the option of doing the cave colourway, which we did in the Aboriginal Dot, which is just fabulous to work with. So that was our block 2
It was.
back in February. And then we did
Gosh.
our March block here, which was block 3. So that was the solid collection that we did, and then we did a cave one as well. And again, these do work together when you do 4 of them. You can do them as an additional flower for that.
Beautiful.
That was block 3. Then block 4, I actually do think that this might be one of my favourite ones, because also when you do them like that.
Oh, I love this. Yeah,
in
that
one of
looks
my
great.
other quilts, I've done that as a corner when you go around in a border. And it just looks so pretty that way. So again, we've got the solid colour there, and then the cave colour. That was block 4.
You've just hit on a really important point there, John, is that these are building blocks that once you've got them, if you wanted to add a border with a bit of interest to a quilt,
but even
one of
using
those in
that
each
as a
corner.
border, for the corners.
Yeah.
Because if you can, it works really, really well.
Perfect.
Then we got block 5. Now this, these are so beautiful. Again, if you wanted to do 4 of them that way, you can see how pretty that is, and also for the borders as well if you wanted. But there you've got, there you've got your 4. Just look how pretty they look. And of course, we can't not do it with a beautiful cave. With these, the caladiums or brassica? Brassicas.
Yeah, a bit of brassica there.
I've got to be careful when I say caladium.
Any particular reason, John?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
And then we had block 6. Now,
Don't
block
ask me.
6. I am going to be very, very honest. Block 6, that is what we're making, and I am going to ask you if we can go into close-up.
Of course.
Because that is, for some people, incredibly terrifying. And you can see why. So, and you can see I've missed my point there as well, and I don't care. But on this one, I didn't miss it quite as badly for the cave. And you can sell. The great thing with using the big cave prints here is you can get different colours all the way around when you do it. It's beautiful. But what we also did was we did a simpler version for people who didn't want to quite do as many of those. You can do the simpler version of that. So you can watch the video on that in month 6, which was in June, which is the second Monday in June. And then we came to block 7, which was this beautiful piece over here.
Sorry, John, my tech has just gone to sleep.
You're all right.
There we go.
So this was block 7. We did want to do it pieced. I did want to do it as English paper piecing, but the problem with it is these corners over here, when you do piece them together, if you're a millimetre out, your block becomes enormous and it doesn't work. So that was why the English paper piecing
this went
in.
English paper piecing rather than foundation paper piecing, because the other blocks so far had been foundation.
So when I tried to foundation paper piecing, because you've got a thing there, you've got a Y seam.
Okay.
And it's easier to do a Y seam not on paper piecing. But when I did the Y seam on its own, it became, my block was 11.5 inches when it was supposed to be 10. And I'm a reasonably good sewer. And in Sylvia's words, she turned around and she said, if yours is that good, can you imagine how bad mine would be? And I looked at her and assured her she was an excellent sewist, but then realised perhaps this is a little too complicated.
And an extra 1.5 inches isn't always a good thing, is it?
Especially when you're only meant to have a 10-inch block. And that was why the English paper piecing came to place. And just look how beautiful it is. This one was a really simple block to piece together. The complicated bit was this bit over here. But we're building up your skills, because when you get to block 8, boom, 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 you get that beautiful piece over there. You got this in 2 different colorways. You've got it in the purple, and then you've also got it in the pink over here, which we will show you. And unfortunately, I didn't have time to finish it. So you can see this is the block that we're making. No, it's not. Yes, it is. This is the block that we're making over here. And those 2 there, these are the blocks that we're making, and you can tell how they look just by looking at them. They're identical. All that happens is I'll show you with the pink what's different in the pink. So this is the block 8 that we're going to make today.
Beautiful.
And there are some tips that I need to give you to make sure that you're getting everything the right size.
It's a big old kit, this one.
It's a lovely big kit.
It's a really lovely big kit, because you've got enough, well, more than enough, because you'll have leftovers, won't you, anyway, to make 4 pink blocks, 4 purple blocks.
Yes. And left over.
And stash.
Because we're always very generous.
Did you want
with
to
these.
fan?
I don't think anybody can fan as well as you can, though.
Oh, so you love it though, John. This is the
plane. If I do the plane, do you want to do the cave?
Yeah, of course. Let's move these bits and bobs out of the way. We'll talk through those.
Those are really important, so don't
they are. No, I'm not going to make them.
So we've got our lovely black background. Listen to me. Cream background here, and then we've got our beautiful pink, and then we've got our light pink.
And with the cave option, we're just substituting.
Just one colour, but that is so pretty.
We're
going to do
that's your
next.
azalea has been substituted for jumble yellow. Then you still have your light pink.
I thought you were going to say jambalaya.
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 We're always on
So this is
food,
the plain
John, always on
collection.
food.
There's your cave bundle there. Then we've got our purple, which is then
Which is
your
the-
power flower.
Yep, so yours is magenta and this is the damask flower
That
purple.
one. But we've got
That
this-
one, Gemma, that one.
That one there, that one. And then we've got our beautiful light
Yep.
purple.
It's a
And then we've got
lavender.
the same dark blue, which we've just called blue.
Yes.
And then we've got our turquoise over here, which we've called light blue in the pattern. And then we've got our dark green, which we've just called green. And we've got our green as well. So this is your plain collection over here. And this is the gorgeous collection by Cave, with these really pop when you put them together in the bundle there.
Great big bundles.
They really are good, because
Beautiful.
these are a long quarter of each, is it?
Yes, so we have, I think it's 0.75 metres, isn't it?
Of the cream.
Yep, so 3/4 of a metre of this, and then long quarters of each of these others here.
So it's 2 3/4 meters here as well.
Yes,
It's a
exactly.
beautiful
2
big
and
kit.
3/4 metres in that bundle. And
Now, if
for
you don't want to
those-
be buying it every month,
Yep.
what you can also remember is we have got the solid collection, which will make
Yes.
the quilt that's hanging behind us.
Yes.
We have got that as a fabric kit for all 10 blocks.
We do, and that's
which will
right at the top
include
of the page.
Binding, not the binding, it'll include the borders and everything.
Yes.
So if you just wanted to do that in one go, you'll end up with a lot less fabric than buying it month on month, but then you've just got it all in one kit
Yeah.
on there as well.
So if you're really confident with your cutting and you know, you just want to crack on and make
All
it
of them in
and
one
keep
go.
keep going month by month, because we are really near the end now. We've just got
We
this
are only
one
2
more,
months to go.
one more
We've
block
just got to
to do,
talk
and then
about
finishing.
the piecing together, because obviously someone going on a world tour, we need to make sure that we've got availability for everyone.
I just feel like you might have mentioned this a couple of times, John.
think?
Do you want to tell people
No,
about your trip?
I'll just allude to it. I'm going home! I'm going home for a
Going
month.
home.
Can't wait.
It's exciting.
Well, I'm not
isn't
really.
it?
I'm going to the South African Quilt Festival, which is something I've always wanted to do.
I mean,
tried
what an
to go-
amazing gig, eh?
Oh God! Well, I tried to go 3 years ago, and Angela Walters was flying in from America to be the keynote speaker and to do a whole load of classes.
Lovely.
And then unfortunately she pulled out, and then something else cropped up, so I couldn't go at that point. And then obviously the pandemic, we couldn't go anywhere.
No, of
And now we'll
course.
just go everywhere. The opening of an envelope, I'm there. Anything.
Well,
just to
Festival
get
of
out.
Quilts. So
Can't
if
wait.
anyone's
Just round
going
the
to
corner.
Festival of Quilts, then John, you're there every day, aren't you?
They're going to drag me out of there. Security
Yeah.
has to drag me out at the end of the day. It's time to go.
John will be there every day. Myself and Jane will be around on the Sunday.
I know. Congratulations.
No, courtesy of John, we're going on the
Not
Sunday.
me. You won a competition.
No, we
you were
did.
just randomly
I know.
selected.
We were randomly
You were.
selected as well, because you went, oh my gosh!
I know everyone's going to think it's a sticker. Everyone thinks I'm frauding them, but it was like. So
And I'm taking Jane as my date.
I can't wait.
She said, are you sure you want to take me? And I said, Jane,
There's no
who
one in the world-
else
Exactly.
could I take and annoy with every quilt we see going, how have they done that, Jane? How's that gone together? What's this then, Jane? What's that technique?
She's the perfect person
She'll
to go around
regret it
and
by
do
lunchtime.
Well, the thing is, as well, she can just disappear and leave you.
She
I'll
won't
find
know.
you. No,
She won't.
But
She'll
she'll
be
love it.
so lovely, and she'll tell
she's-
me all the things.
She is so lovely.
I'm so excited.
Now,
So,
in order
yes.
to do this, to make your lives a lot easier, we are going to use, you can do whatever you choose. There is no right or wrong. I find using the Sewline glue pen the best thing in the world. My problem is I keep losing it. So in my studio, the other day I was looking for one and I thought, I can't find my pen. And then Sylvia very calmly said, just look in the stationery bin. So I took the stationery bin, typical boy, emptied the whole thing all over the floor. It's just one of these, it's a bit like that, just like a pot. I had 7 of them,
Oh, John.
yes. And only 2 of them had glue in
Have
them.
those in. So what you needed was some of these.
But what is really important to remember, when I'm doing just normal hexagons, I get around 30 to 35 hexagons per glue stick. That's doing all the all 6 sides. Now, if you've never used them before, let me give you a
Oh,
very
yes.
quick demo
Let's
of
go
how they
into
work.
overhead.
Because I did hope we could do this. So I'll
Because
just
some
jump
people might not have
ahead.
English paper piece before.
No,
might
oh my
not
goodness,
know what it's all
you
about.
will love it. You will love it, love it, love it. Now, with normal sewing, you do so much quick, and that's great. That's lovely. There's nothing wrong with that because we all do need to be, we've got busy lives and all that. But what is so lovely is when you actually are able to just stop and just do some normal piecing. So when you get a piece of fabric that you want to put together, you normally try and keep 3/8 of an inch around there, but it doesn't matter if it's a little bit small or a little bit big. You can see over there, this bit's bigger than that bit's big. It doesn't matter.
No.
Because if anybody's looking at the inside of your quilt to tell you your points are off, they need to have more in their lives to do.
Well, they do. They'd have to
So
take it apart
I'll
first.
do this very quickly to just show you how I normally do it. When you do it, make sure that you're not getting any glue on the edge that you're going to be stitching, because if you do, then you're going to be putting your needle through a little lump of glue, which is fine to do, but when you're doing a little lump of glue on every seam, it does get a little much. Now, this is just one of my little top tips. Many people do it, many people don't. What I do when I get to a corner is I just put a little dump of glue there, and then I fold this back. You know when you're doing normal wrapping of gifts?
Yes.
I just fold that piece back, and I'll show you
Lovely.
why when I've done it. And then you just pop that down there. And normally if I'm doing this, I'm doing it at a table, Netflix on the screen in front of me, and I just sit for hours and I glue absolutely everything ready to go so that they're all ready. You can see this one's coming on blue. What happens when you buy your kit? Those ones are blue, those ones are pink, and those ones are yellow. Now the reason I'm telling you that is if you're using blue, pink or yellow fabric, these will then, if you're using pink fabric, obviously you'll use the blue or the yellow. If you're using yellow fabric, you'll use the blue or the pink. It is irrelevant after about 20 minutes because they completely dry clear.
They do.
But you can see over here, I've got them as blue, but by the end of the show, you will see they would have completely dried away and you've got nothing. So there we go. I've now basted the fabric onto that little triangle. And that's done and dusted. Now, if you are doing your piece by, where do you want me?
you were facing that way, then you're facing this way. Oh, look. John can see what this screen's doing to me.
So that's how you've done it there. And
naughty.
you can see the blue, just ever so slightly, you can see the blue lines of the glue on there as well. But they will fade away completely within about an hour. To give you an example, I did this one last night, also with the blue, and you can see it's completely and utterly faded away.
John, the thing that used to worry me as well when I first started EPP was these little dog ears.
You don't cut them off.
No.
Don't cut them off because that's your seam allowance.
People do, don't they?
They really
and
do.
Then they have problems.
Yep.
So
your
leave
quilt will
those
fall
alone
apart.
because once you've stitched it together, they're hiding at the
Exactly.
back, aren't they?
You only need one of these, unless you're like me and you lose them. You only need one of these.
Or unless you're me and you have one in your crafting room and one in your caravan
So
kit.
not like me where you've got 7 in one room, 3 in
No.
another, 4 in another. Because
No.
the problem running a shop is you go, I can't find my bloody thing, and you throw it up in the air and have a tantrum, and Sylvia just goes, you can find it, it's in there. And you're like, no, it's not. And you go and pull another one off the
You
shelf.
need to ask
Don't do that.
Lady Josephine because she's the hider of all
She
things.
is. She is. You need one of these.
Yes.
And the reason I'm telling you that is this will come. Is this 1 or 2? I can never remember.
It comes with your refill, doesn't it?
But has it got 1 in it already?
I think.
I think
so.
it
Let me have a
does.
look and see what it says.
That does have, I think that's got 2. But
I
what I
think
will
so.
tell you to do is you will get between, and when you're pressing really hard, you're going to use a lot more glue, and you don't need to press as hard as you think you do. This glue lasts forever. I did a Stuart Hillard quilt when I
dry
first started. The glue has been in there. Keep it in an airtight box in a dark room. You're not going to have any sun on it. Those have been glued for about 6 years now, and they're still fine. They still haven't come apart. But what you do need to do is order a lot of these, because a lot of the time what happens is these are the things that run out and sell the quickest because you can't find them. And then what will happen is there'll be a run on English paper piecing. Somebody will come up with an idea of doing English paper piecing, and hopefully everybody will get involved, but then you can't find these for love nor money. These last years.
Yes.
You are fine. Don't leave them on a sunny window. Make sure you keep them in a dark room, and it's cold, you're fine. So don't put them in like an airing cupboard or anything like that, because it'll still last, but it just lasts longer when it's in a dark cold room or in a dark cold box.
Yeah.
But get as many of these as you feel, because if you do decide to sit down, and because I find that the most mindful thing, gluing all my papers down, you literally can go through, I've been through about 40 of these in one go, because that's a giant quilt. If you've got over 1,000 hexagons you're doing, you'll need a lot of these. And normally, when you want them, you can't find them.
And the beautiful thing with this actually is my stepdaughter, for example, has no interest in crafting at all. In fact, she took a job, bless her, through the summer in a care home, and she messaged me on her first day and she said, this afternoon's activity, we have to pair up with a resident and make an Easter bonnet.
Aww.
And then she said underneath, I feel you have been preparing me for this my entire life. Because from when she was tiny, I'd get all the crafting things out and I'd go, today we're going to make this. And
Did you ever make an Easter bonnet?
Yes, I've got photos of them with these Easter bonnets. And they'd sit there and Meg would go, and Gemma would go, why? Because she just didn't understand. And I'd say, what do you mean why? This is a school thing. No, darling, it's a fun thing.
It's a fun thing. It is
She's
fun.
not a crafter. However, we go away in our little vintage caravan. And the number of hours, especially on rainy trips, that she has sat with hexagons and leftover scraps of fabric, because let's not forget, this is a brilliant way to use those pieces. When you've got a piece of fabric, say about yay big, and it's not big enough to do much with, just making hexies and putting them in a box. I've got like a big Tupperware and they're all in colour. So I'll slot the purple ones all together, the pink ones all together, because then I know if at some point I want to make an EPP project,
you've got them.
I could have, and I've made my mum a beautiful
with the EPP
bag.
projects, you can make a little pencil case.
Yeah.
You can make a bag. You can make quilts with different fabrics on it. They're fabulous.
And Natasha did a fantastic tutorial on how to make a bag using EPP.
Was that with the hexiform?
Yeah. So we used hexiform for that, and I made my mum a hexiform.
I met your mum the other day. She's lovely.
Eds, she's lovely. But Gemma has sat diligently with me for hours, just with stick, fold, pops them in the box.
Love it.
And she's really happy. I mean, now she's nearly 19, so she sits there with a gin and tonic doing this.
Quite right.
Fold, pops them in the box, and she loves it. And then I'll say, "Do you want to sew a few together?" And she just looks at me and goes,
No.
because she's not interested in sewing. But even little ones as well, they can get on board with this.
Exactly.
And these pens, they're really easy to use. It's not like runny sticky glue.
No.
You're not going to get in a mess with it.
And if you put too much on, like you'll see on the edge here, no, it wasn't that one. Always the last one. You'll see I've got a tiny little lump of glue on here.
Should we go into close-up, see if we can spot that one?
Sorry, I keep driving you, Gemma.
No, that's all right.
You can see I've got a tiny little bit of glue on there. That's now completely dry, and if you just want to get rid of it, you just run your nail over it and it comes off. And the good thing is that you'll see I've done some of these specifically in a way to show you, because there are a few tricks you need for this. I'll show you how you can then just peel this back and re-stick it down, and it's absolutely fine. So it's a really nice product. I personally will only, and will always use the Solan glue pen, because I think they're fabulous. Always have, always will.
And it doesn't dry hard either, so it's not like... if I was using another type of glue, that you'd be there and you'd have stiffness to the fabric and it'd be crunchy in your quilt. It's not.
Not at all.
But I've done EPP cushions for my caravan. I've made my mum a bag. If you want to make up little tiny, even really, really tiny hexies, and then whip stitch them together, you can make a pouch or a makeup bag. There's so much you can do with this technique.
Exactly.
But the essentials, I would say, are those first and foremost.
You only need the one pen.
Yes.
But you need lots
Many
of
refills.
these. Lots of these. Again, remember the colours. The pink ones are pink, the white ones are blue, and the yellow ones are yellow.
Yeah.
But they all dry clear. So that's more a case of if you're putting them on the fabric and you want these to be contrasting.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
nothing to worry on that.
A few other little essentials.
Oh my goodness, these are so
These,
fabulous.
John. Those save your
These
fingers.
are leather thimble pads. Now, the way I have learnt to stitch is I don't ever use my finger to push the needle in, because sharp things against the finger, pointy things against the finger are going to pierce through.
It hurts
They
after
really
a
do.
while.
So these are fabulous, because they are literally just, you stick them on and you can use them again. I would say that if you are going to get them, make sure you get the adhesive replacements as well, because what happens is if the glue on your leather thingy, and I'm calling it the thimble pad, the leather thimble pad dries out, you just put one of the adhesive replacements on it as well.
It does tend not to. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
You
but
can
these
also
last
get
a really long time.
Yeah, absolutely. You can also get, we don't have them in stock at the moment, you can get a metal thimble that these work with too, and they are a little bit bigger than this, but they still stick on a little metal thimble, which is really clever. So
they are
when those
good.
are back in, we will get them.
So these are really good for them if you don't like the traditional thimble, which we've got here. We've got them in size large and in medium. These were, these are traditional. These have been going for millennia. People for decades. People have loved using these. They're very, very useful. I personally don't use a thimble or a thimble pad. That's just me personally, but a lot of people use both. These are really good thimbles, so do make sure you check these out and see what works for you.
And John, you much prefer to just moan about having sore fingers, no doubt. Yeah.
Moaning is my top job.
Absolutely. And then we have these little dots as well. So these are to help you grip the needle. For my money, these are my friend, and these are what I use when I'm EPPing. And I know these are Natasha's choice as well, but they are real leather. Just bear that in mind for those of you who perhaps don't use leather items, they are real leather. But that just means they're really strong, they're really flexible, and they're really durable as well. John?
But this one is really important, because what you do need is, when you're doing your threading of your needles, you need to make sure that you've got a really good cutter to be able to get a clean edge, that when you try to rethread your needle, you've got a nice clean edge to be going through the eye of the needle. So these are really good, and these can be taken on airplanes as far as I can recall.
Pop them on a necklace.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very clever.
So these are really good as well. But now this one I haven't used before. Tell me about that one.
Now this is Thread Magic. So Thread Magic is a conditioner. It helps to strengthen your thread. It will prevent static as well. I'm going to see if that'll actually focus. Here we go. That's better. And you just glide your thread through it. You can get this. You can also get a tiny weeny little cube version, John, that fits on a sewing machine. And you can run your thread through that. But it just means that your thread will, well, you can see 400% less drag. But it helps with hand fatigue, because it just
only read that when it was on the screen.
through. Yeah, I know, right?
400% less hand fatigue. Sign me up.
Absolutely. Look at that. But you can see all the instructions are here. Look, you see, you've got these little grooves here. You just pop your thread through, run it through, and you get a nice, lovely, smooth, and it just glides through.
Brilliant.
Beautiful to work with. So, John, it's better than wax, as it says in the top. It's just gorgeous to work with.
I'm really going to test your knowledge
for you
now.
to have a go on.
Do you know how much that one is?
Says she.
While you're doing that, what I will do...
Asking for a friend, John.
Asking for a friend, of course.
Thread
what
magic.
I'm going to do at the same time is I'm going to just carry on, and all I'm going to do is carry on sticking these on. If you would like to go to the overhead, I can entertain our viewers.
The Thread Magic.
So I'm just keeping on doing my cream bits on here. And then what I'm going to do is, on this one, I'm going to show you a trick, and this will require the close-up.
Sure.
So what I've done is, just like before, I've just done the shorter edges. I've made a little triangle out of that corner there. Whoops. Right. So this is where it is tricky. When you are doing any form of pointy bits, whether it be a triangle or whether it be one of these diamonds, this is really important, okay? So what I'm going to do is put the glue onto the fabric and onto the piece of board. Right, so when I fold this over, Gemalala, if you wouldn't mind, what is really important to make sure that your block works is you want to take this and you want to fold over the middle bit. Assuming you're using glue, if you're basting, you will have a better understanding of basting, because I've never done it, okay? So I stick the middle bit down, all right? My middle bit's down. Now the important bit to make sure that this is going to fit is you're going to run your fingers along the triangle.
Sure.
And you'll feel, if I turn that way, you'll feel where the paper ends. So that's where my paper ends. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're folding your point so that your paper ends exactly there.
Look at that lovely
Because
sharp
if I
point.
just do it like that, can you see the difference?
Yeah.
My pointy sharp bit over here, whereas here, as you run your finger, you can feel you're 2 or 3 millimeters out there.
Right.
Now, this is really, really important, especially with these blocks, because you want it to be as tight as possible. Sorry, Gemma, I'm messing you around there. So you want it to be as tight as possible, and you can see you've now got nice, sharp edges there.
Perfect.
This is important because when I come to attach these, you need to have the length of your diamond and the length of your triangle be the same.
Lovely.
So those are the same. And when you're doing these angles, if you are slightly out, check here and check here. Because on this side, you can tell my point ends there, but my paper ends a few millimeters away. So when I line these up, you can see my point doesn't line up over here. Now, this is only the only reason I'm telling you this is because I did have a few little problems on this block doing this, and it's important that I pass on the things that have gone wrong for me onto you.
You've made the mistakes so we don't have to, John.
Exactly. But you can see that that is actually quite a big difference over there. So by having that on every one of your pieces, you're going to have a problem. So when I lined these up, I always lined up from a point that doesn't have a massive fold. And I line that up to a point there,
and then I check where I am, and then I go and feel, is the error on my diamond or is my error on that? Now the other thing to bear in mind is when you are cutting your pieces out, this one you can see is relatively okay on these 3 sides, but on this bit over here, you might not be able to see on there, but there's a tiny little bit of white.
We pop
on
something
the
else
fabric.
behind
I'm just
it.
wondering
See if that helps. There we
you go. Oh, she's so good at this. You can tell that this is a little bit bigger than it needs to be. So what you're actually aiming to do is that when you cut your pieces out,
Before we give anyone a heart attack, John, what type of scissors are you currently using?
I made sure I was using the paper scissors here, and it is written paper on it.
We have written paper
before I get into trouble by anybody. So what I'm doing here is, you'll tell, before we go away on that, you'll see what I've done is I've actually cut through the black line. So the black line is ever so slightly there, and I'm going to trim these down on each one, on each of the pieces, to make sure, because when I put the fabric around it, you will tell that obviously, because you've got that little bit of extra edge, it's going to add a little bit of extra weight. Now the reason I'm telling you this, and the reason why I'm making this so important, is when you get your pattern, whatever format you're getting it in, you're going to have all your pieces. Now, for myself, I found it really important to lay everything out first. In the pattern on page 3, you will see you're given a guide as to where everything is meant to go. And all I want to do is to make sure this is going to work out to be 10 inches all the way along. So I line everything up, and it does take a bit of finagling. My favourite word.
Finagling?
Finagling.
That's a new one on me.
So you line these all up. Now you can see I've already started to make the block, so this isn't ideal for this situation.
No.
But it gives you an idea of laying the whole block out to be able to see that you've got enough pieces. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, I may have the blank pieces for the whole block.
Here's one you made earlier, John. All cut and prepared.
What could possibly go wrong?
Bravo. Bravo, sir.
So what you do is you pick out a 10 inches on your mat, and you line these up, and you check that you've got everything cut to the right size. Now on the diamonds, as you're laying them out, you will see where you've cut too much and you haven't got quite enough of the black line off. And the reason I'm saying it is that if you don't correct it, you may very well end up with a block that's 10 1/4, 10 1/2, and that's not a problem. We'll show you how to fix it if you do that. But I also want to make sure that anybody who is making this block, if you can make fewer errors through the process, let's do that.
Let's provide you with the best possible chance of success.
Of success on it, exactly. And it's just, lay this out first, cut everything out, put the jigsaw puzzle down, check that everything is 10 inches. And by doing that, you're eliminating the risk of having there be an error or a problem. But if there is an error or a problem, remember, please be kind to yourself. Make sure that you're not being upset about it. It's only fabric. It's only meant to be fun. And if you are making a mistake, that's fine. I will show you how you fix it in month 10. Whenever that may be. So don't worry about it. Even if you just lay out one line of it, because you can see automatically now I've moved the pieces around, and I'm not for 1 second saying it isn't a faff, but it's a good faff because once I've done that...
It is like a jigsaw. This is mindful stuff.
It really is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you can tell that lines up almost perfectly. But when you've laid it out, you'll notice that there will be pieces that are not quite the right size. So this gives you the chance to go in and correct any issues or any problems as you go along, just to make sure that you've got the best chance of success that you can. And I think it's always fun to also lay it all out first, because yes, I've suggested how you can sew it together in your pattern, but you may look at that and go, John, you're talking rubbish. That isn't going to work as well as this. And you can pick your way of doing it.
Would you ever, John?
Well, no, but I think it's really important that you listen and you see different ways that you can do it that may work better for you. Pattern designers just give you suggestions. They're not always right.
No, not always.
Not always right. We're not always wrong either.
No.
Like me, I'm never wrong.
Never.
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 Apart from when you are.
No, I was mistaken. I thought I was wrong once, but I wasn't. I was mistaken.
Oh, okay.
Hardy, hardy, hard. Can I just give a little shout out to my lovely pattern testers?
Of course you can.
One of them messaged me at, what was it, about 12:30 this morning going,
Yes.
"You've made an error! You need to fix this quick!" Which was lovely, but a little bit of panic station because the pattern may or may not have already been submitted to that there, Gemalala.
Yes.
But thankfully we
had
caught
to
it.
switch it over before we set the digital live. So if you have bought the digital pattern today, fret you not, that has the correct file attached.
It does. They're very good here. But you can see what I mean. So then, and also then you'll be able to tell that you're making two of those, one of those, and one of those. And it's just such a lovely way of being able to just calm down and stop. But do lay the whole block out first. We're almost there. Because by laying the block out, you're just double checking that everything is the right height, the right size. So over here you can see we've drifted up a little bit on the sizing. So just take your time and move everything back into the position it's meant to be. It's one of those things that it is a little bit mercurial and a little bit, your pieces move constantly. Come on. Because the minute you put one piece down, then another piece is moved, and then another piece moves.
Yeah, it doesn't lock together like a jigsaw, does it?
No.
Sadly.
Sadly.
That would be good. You need this in
Quicker
fuzzy
too.
felt, I feel.
So there we go. And there we go. Just make sure you fill up all your gaps and make sure everything lines up. And what you're looking for is a 10-inch square. Now, I've been asked a few times, how do we put these together? Don't take your papers out. Don't do anything. Make it like this and leave it. Don't do anything more. Okay, so the purple works. So we've done all of that. The purple works really simply. If I turn this around, you've got an E block, an H block, and a B block. So E is the light purple, H is the dark purple, and B is that one. But, so that's the piece there. But when I take this, when we're doing the pink, they're the other way round.
Ah.
So the block for the pink pattern is identical to the purple.
Subtle.
All that happens is the pink is on the left and the light pink is on the right.
Right.
Whereas in the purple, the pink is on the purple is on the right and the light purple is on the left. This is explained in the pattern. Make sure that when you're putting everything together, you're squeezing the ends to making sure that you've got the perfect point that you can get. It works on the bigger triangles as well. Just give your points a little bit of a squeeze to check that you're doing it the right way there. And the Bonder web, we have tiny little toony bits of Bonder web which we're doing for this one. If I can pull these
Bonder web.
up.
Oh, this is for
The little baby Bonder webby stems.
Oh, John, these are cute. Let's go back into overhead so we can see those.
If only I could find the last little one here.
Why is it these tiny pieces? They run away, don't they? And they hide.
Where's it gone?
Oh, honestly, we lay all these things out beautifully, but then we move things around and waft about, don't we? Could have gone under the sewing machine or something
Probably gone
equally as
there.
irritating.
So with the Bonder web there, I always glue the Bonder web onto the piece of fabric first. Especially in this pattern, you'll find that you're going to need a large chunk of the dark green for your stems, but you'll need that for blocks 7, 8 and 9. And then you'll just need the little ones over here for the stems. And we're just going to imagine that this is a little green piece over there, which is going to go there. I don't know what's happened to it.
One
it's
the same
always
but
the way.
different.
Isn't that always the way? And the minute we come off air, I'm going to find it stuck to my ear or something.
Be on the back of your arm or something.
And that is then what we're going to do then for the Bonder webbing those down. I have done a little tutorial on my Quilt Along with John YouTube page as well.
Sure.
But I think the pattern is reasonably self-explanatory. English paper piecing is a lot of fun. You're looking to do between 12 and 14 stitches per inch, but you must do what works best for you. Some of these pieces were quite roughly sewn together because of time, but you are looking to get something really simple.
But it's still, even
Oh, I
in
love
rush,
it.
has come together, hasn't it?
Absolutely love it.
And John,
Absolutely love it.
when people piece these together and whip stitch,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they're literally placing these pieces right sides together.
Exactly. So
and
we
then
can actually do one now,
whip
if you
stitching.
like.
Yeah, that'd be great, John.
Excuse me while I cough over here.
That's all right. Have you got a needle and thread?
So the needle and thread that we're doing, I need to make sure that I've got these the right way around. Where's my... Yep, that's...
I've just done a naughty thing.
Ho, ho, ho. I love it when you do naughty things.
Those bumbleberries that are due in and should be here imminently, I've just popped them on pre-order, John.
Quite right.
because they're the lovely autumn and winter
Quite
bumbleberries.
right.
They're stunning. Hopefully we'll have these to show you tomorrow. But I know that they are, well, they were supposed to be here Friday. We've got 2 bolts and the remainder should be here today.
Don't tell Tash.
If not, there'll be a fierce Yorkshire woman after them.
Now, for my threading, I always have 2 things of thread. I am using a grey thread because it's a little bit darker than a cream. Use what colour works for you. My spool of thread that I used the last time has gone missing, and I don't know where I've put it, and I've put it somewhere safe, but we'll find it. But what I think is important to remember is always double knot, triple knot your end, and be gentle. This is fabric. You're all being good. So remember what I said to you before. We check that we've got our points, that they're all lining up and they're all the perfect length. And you can tell over here that they are. You can see those are the perfect size there.
Oh, come on. Behave. There it is.
You can see that from there to there is the same length. And then because I know, and I've done one already, the dark pink is on the right hand side and the light pink on the left, you then put these on top of each other. And it's always important to just see which direction you're sewing. So I'm going to sew from here up there, and then I'm going to put the cream triangle on over there.
Lovely.
My technique is not going to be your technique. My technique works for me. It may not work for you. Do what works best for you. Can I get a wonder clip?
Yeah, of course you can.
Please? They're in that little bag over there.
They are, yes. EPP is one of those lovely, lovely projects, isn't it, that you can just take everywhere. So Natasha's done this in the hospital. When she was pregnant with Emily, she had these projects and just was whip stitching all over the place. Like I say, I've had them in our little vintage caravan and had rainy days and sunny days and all sorts. I've sat outside at festivals. I've sat on the floor on a blanket at festivals, and people have come up and gone, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm stitching. And they're like, "What are you stitching?" And
see, this is where
just lovely, mindful stitching. It
is. It really is. That's why you're so kind and lovely, because you tell people how to do it all. It's wonderful.
Oh, I love it.
I just look and go,
share the love.
Stranger danger, and run inside.
Oh, Della's with us now. Della.
Hello, Della.
Is from Cornwall. She is a very dear friend of mine. We've been friends now since 2011.
Fabulous.
And she is an absolute EPP demon.
Yay!
I tell you. She says,
well, this
EPP
was
is her
really a
favourite.
happy accident, because I've never seen any EPP like this.
No.
And it was a little happy accident. So you can see this is why I don't use I'm probably not in your shot anymore. This is why I don't use a thimble, because I'm always stitching from left to right. I'm probably very slow by comparison.
It's all right.
But the thing
Natasha
with me
does
is that it's
everything
just
quickly.
so
She's
nice
like a machine.
to stop and to just take your time with it.
And with this, you're not going massively through a huge chunk of fabric and all through the paper and everything. You're literally just catching a few threads on the edge of that
Well, the
piece.
key of it is not to go through the paper,
No.
not to go. You're just going through, as you say, 2-3 threads of the fabric to get
to the point where you'll think it's not going to hold. But
exactly.
when you fold it out, it's just perfect.
It's all good.
I'm going to see if I can find a picture of the bag I made for my mother, John.
Yeah.
I feel you need to see that. She was so delighted with it, and it was all over social media, and she's taken it out shopping, and all her friends are like, "Oh, gosh, your daughter is so clever." And quite frankly, it's really simplistic, EPP, really easy. And I just then machined it and sort of echo quilted it onto some Styleville fix.
Fabulous.
Because I fused it on, but I wanted to have this sort of echo quilting on it, so I just went inside each of the hexagons just for detail. And then some of our amazing handles that we have, 24.5-inch handles, just hand sewed some of those on, and the professional finish from that, it's amazing. And lined it. John, look.
Oh, that's dreadful.
Now I'm not sure whether my phone will show up on the screen. Shall we see? Oh, there we are.
That is lovely.
There we are.
I feel like I
It's
should
a
get out of the
little
shot
bit blurry,
completely.
isn't it?
Well, if I get out the shot completely,
Do you reckon it'll focus?
if you move closer to where the
There's
needle
motion
is.
at my kitchen cam. That'll be my husband getting a coffee. Or the dogs. There we are. So that's Ed's bag. Look at that. So yes, she was very,
But
very
it is
pleased
proper
with
mindful
that.
stitching though.
Yes.
Because I do find that you do have to stop because you run the risk of stabbing yourself.
Yes.
Which I did on the retreat, and I apologise again for my language, ladies. I do apologise.
I think
I
sometimes
don't
it's
know where
necessary,
that
John.
person came from.
Necessary and sometimes, justified.
Well,
But these
having
little
put the needle
handles, let's
right
just
down my
quickly-
fingernail,
Look at the...
that was the only words I could come up with.
That's the other thing we'll
Gosh,
show
that's
you.
gorgeous.
Aren't they lovely, those handles?
Have you still got those?
Yes. So those are our 24.5-inch handles. Again, we've got a few. Let's have a look. I say this. Let me see.
With great
Let me
authority, I might
see.
add.
Let me see.
How many products have you got on the website?
Lots. I know it's a really technical amount. We had a huge number of these handles in, and they flew out, and then we had to get some more and they flew out. We are out of stock, unfortunately, of the tan, the cream and the blue, but we do have stock, one pair of the black, 3 brown and 7 wine. That's it.
Oh, the wine ones would be
wine are
lovely.
beautiful.
Why have they taken so long?
No, because they've been restocked more recently.
Okay.
It's just we're waiting for other stock to come back in, but the wine we did manage to get hold of some more.
So I've now reached the end of my line here. Now for myself, I always do
let's
a
see your
double
stitches,
knot.
John.
I do always do a double knot.
Gorgeous.
Only because if something happens to the seam before or after it, it's only one little seam that's at risk.
Absolutely, good plan.
So what I've done there, so I'll just unpin this.
Let's have a little look and see if we
And
can
then
see
you
your
can
stitches.
see there's not a huge amount of stitching you can see at the front.
Shall I hold it a little bit closer, see if it'll... See, such tiny little perfect stitches, you can hardly see them on the camera.
Well, that's the
There they
plan,
are.
is you're not meant to see the stitching.
No.
You're meant to have the stitching hidden at the back, or ideally right on the seam in the middle of them. So there we go, we've put those two together, and now we're going to put our triangle at the top over there. You're going to make 8 of these in total. No. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, 8 of these. Gosh, it's so terrible when you're looking at this and thinking, I did my tutorial, because I always do a tutorial of these on my own
We can't maths
page
anymore,
at the
John.
same time. And then I said, oh, you're making 12 of these blocks. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're making 8. Oops. So when I'm putting a new piece on as well, I also double knot at the same time.
Lovely. Good plan. And then,
Well, it
like
just
you say,
secures everything.
there's not that horrible unravelling feeling going on.
Exactly.
Oh, Sue Langford is just sharing her wisdom on customer services. She says, I always used to tell customer services the customer may be mistaken, have misjudged or just misguided, but never ever wrong.
We had a very awkward customer service moment in my house this weekend.
Did you? In your house?
We have builders in. So I'm very technical. I ordered a skip.
You absolutely love having workmen in your house as well.
Indeed.
You don't get even slightly intolerant,
Not
John.
at all. So we ordered a skip, and on Saturday morning when they were doing the biggest amount of work, I get up in the morning and my skip's gone with half their gear that was new and using on top of the skip for storage, because obviously I've got to park my car there at night.
Wow.
And 1.3 tons of stuff was crushed, incinerated and gotten rid of.
Oh, wow.
And they were meant to be collecting my skip on the 10th of August.
Oh, my word.
And by my calculations, we're not on the 10th of August
Not
just
even
yet.
now. No, not till Wednesday. Oh,
So-
crikey.
I tried very hard to be kind,
Yes.
but it was very
It's not
hard.
always easy, is it?
It's just really hard because obviously somebody just typed the wrong number in.
Yes.
But now, and I'm now got to pay for a new skip to be delivered as well.
Oh, well, that's not okay.
Well,
Oh,
it
dear.
was a very. My husband was away, thank goodness, and I think as well I was teaching and I had the class, so I think that helped.
I
as
can't
well.
help thinking that Andrew might have been better managing this. No, okay.
No. Everybody thinks it's me, but no, I wouldn't. No,
Actually, I get the impression he's no nonsense.
no, not at all.
He does come across as more calm, but yes, I can imagine he's got a fiery temper when something's really
He's
going
a
wrong.
very good Scottish Glaswegian man.
Ah, I see.
You have
I
a little
see.
bit of rope.
But don't take too much because
Well, you
that's not
can.
going to go well for
You
you.
can, but it'll be wound
Okay.
in pretty quickly. That's why we've been so successfully married for all these years.
Well, there you go. Perfect. Oh, Chris Cresswell's got a comment on your quilt. She says it's such a beautiful quilt, John.
Oh, thank you, darling.
The block is gorgeous and it's so clever the way it builds. Do you know, I was saying exactly the same about the block and how much I love it while you're stitching, John.
Please, by all
My thoughts were, I really fancy making this and then coming in with some nice big triangles in the corner and then using that as a cushion front. And sashing
But
it.
you see, what you can also do is if you did want to make a really good size cushion, make that, get those.
Yes.
Give me 1 second, I'm going to do one last locking stitch. If you're going to make 4 of those, if you make 4 of those,
Beautiful.
what you can do is you pop 4 of those there, that in the middle,
Yes.
and you've got a really unusual, interesting...
Definitely. Lovely. You know those enormous pillows you put on the bed, the big square ones? That'd be lovely.
You can do that and have 4 of these
bless.
in it.
Judy,
That
don't
would work.
panic.
Who's
We haven't
Judy?
panic.
Hello,
Judy panicking here. She is. She says, oh no, I forgot to add my free half metre. Well, Judy, on the basis that you're reminding everybody of their free half metre, then I shall solve that little problem for you right now. Don't mind me, everybody. I shall just tappy tap tap. But for those of you who don't know what Judy's on about, where have you been? We do offer, when you've spent £50 or more before checking out, you can then add in the mystery half metre product. So if all the other things in your basket come to at least £50, just type in mystery half metre and pop that product into your basket. It will look like it's going to charge you £7.95. When you get to checkout, in the discounts box, put free half metre, all one word, and it will magically make that free for you. It's not a bad stash builder, that, John. There's been a lot of free half meters coming out to people. Did you not, John?
I did not.
Well, I'm manually popping yours in for you, Judy. So if anyone else...
I thought you were saying I'm manually popping yours in, John. I'm like, yes! I go and speak to that there Inga and pick my half metre. Oh, it's random. You don't get to pick them.
No. So what I will say is, for those of you who think, well, hang on a minute, I've spent £35 or £40 today and I wish I'd bought some more glue sticks or whatever else. If you have already purchased with us today and you want to buy other items and the 2 lots together would have come to more than £50, just pop a little message across to info@natashamakes.com and lovely Jane or SJ will have a look at your order. We'll consolidate that together, add your free half metre in and adjust your postage. Not a problem. We're very accommodating like this, John.
Never said your word.
Very accommodating.
So all I'm doing now is I'm sewing down the other small side of my B triangle. Can I just remind you all, obviously Natasha is away. When she was here in month 7, my glacial pace of hand sewing, she'd already sewn half the block by this point. And she literally did, in an hour, she'd added that on.
She did.
She's very good that way.
Speedy. Yeah, there we go. All sorted, Judy, all sorted.
Do you think she's
I
watching?
hope not. I hope she's got some fabulous cocktail in her hand and is lay by a pool.
Quite right. Quite right. Be quite funny though if we see comments from Natasha already.
Do you know, she would have said, wouldn't she? She would have said.
Oh,
Chris is also saying that the bag is gorgeous. That made for my mum.
oh,
I was very, very pleased with it.
I would be too.
But again, you know, that's just a really simple make and it looks
So
something
effective.
more. Lovely
I
Natasha
did wonder
made
what these
this.
flowers would look like on the front of a bag.
Oh, they look amazing.
I think it
That'd
would.
be a fabulous bag, wouldn't it? Ooh, really
Well-
lovely. The thread magic you asked me earlier.
Yes.
The thread magic, now I'm pretty confident, as with all things that come from America, you'll acknowledge this, the cost has gone up.
The exchange rate alone's gone from 67 to 83.
Correct. And I'm fairly confident this is the old price that we haven't got round to revising and checking and doing all that on because it's clearly slipped our minds. So $11.49.
What?
I know, and that pot will last a really long time.
That really will.
It's acid free as well for those of you who are concerned about that. It's safe for all your sewing machine. It doesn't leave a residue in the machine or the tension discs, because that's another thought that people have, is it going to gum up all my machine or my tension discs? No, it's designed specifically for the purpose. So it will help as well your machine to run smoother. If you are going through that where you're finding that your thread's pulling back and you're having to rethread and rethread and rethread, this can really help.
There we
Are
go.
you pleased with yourself, John?
I'm very happy
Shall we
with
go
myself.
into overhead and show your work? Just there. Look,
like I should be
look what
dancing
John
more.
made.
Look, I made that one.
Look what I made.
And that
he
one I made
says.
earlier. So you can tell then when you've got your block, if you're wanting to see what it would look like with the pink in there.
Oh, yes.
You can see it just changes ever so slightly in
It
that.
does. And you've got one bit from the plains bundle and one bit from the
Yep.
cafe here, haven't you? So if you choose your cafe option, then all the pieces would look exactly like that. Or if you choose the plains option, then all the pieces would look like that.
Just remember, when you're making your pink
Marvellous.
blocks, we're just switching the colours around. You don't have to do that. If you get it the wrong way around, nothing is going to happen. It doesn't matter. It's just a case of, for me, I thought that was easier doing it that way.
That was your little design
My little
element, wasn't
design
it?
element.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are the designer of your own quilt.
You are the
can
designer of your own quilt.
projects.
Just because that's what John said
Yeah,
doesn't mean you have to follow it rigidly. You're not
No.
in their lounge/craft room. You don't know, do you?
And even if I was, I'd
Yeah.
be saying, do whatever you like.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Have fun. But please, 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 it is so important. Ours is the voice that we hear the most. Be kinder to yourself
Yes.
in every aspect.
Always.
If you make a mistake, it's a mistake. You are still an amazing, wonderful person. You're not bad because
You know
your
what?
stitch went wrong.
And some of the best things that
Are
we
happy
produce
accidents.
are happy accidents.
Literally, this whole quilt, this specific thing was a happy accident. And Gemma may or may not have had frantic phone calls almost in tears going, I can't make it work! Oh, I'm not changing.
There was
She's
one
so clever."
particular block, wasn't there, John, where
Oh,
I
I
just
was-
said,
yes.
oh, there's your green
I
piece.
knew I'd find it.
And there was one particular block where I said, oh, John, I've got the solution. You were like, yes, yes, what do I need to do? I said, you just need to redesign all the other blocks in the whole quilt so that it all works. And you went,
Helpful.
you're not funny.
I did. I said exactly that. You're not funny.
You're not funny.
In my thick South African accent, going, Reenie.
You're not funny, Gemma. You're not funny.
One thing I will say
Aw.
is always keep your little piece of paper like this or your cutting plan on page 3 out. It makes your life a lot easier having that when you're putting everything together.
Lovely. Lovely. And these are the bags are
I love
fabulous,
these bags.
aren't they?
I love them.
I'm not sure if it's Michaela or Michaela, so apologies, but
Hello.
she says, looks fabulous, building up to doing a quilt as I've progressed from clothes to bags.
Fabulous.
You can do clothes and you can do bags, you can do quilts. You just need to be mindful of, and it's all mostly straight lines, isn't it, with quilts? You just need to be mindful of making sure that your seam allowances stay the same. Quarter inch, quarter inch, quarter
All
inch,
the way
or whatever.
along.
Just keep it all consistent.
As long as it's the same quarter
Yeah.
inch all the way along, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if yours isn't exactly a quarter
Sure.
of an inch as long as it's consistent.
Don't swap from one machine to another mid-project. Stay with that same machine. Don't stitch part of it yourself and get someone else to do it, because that can happen as well, can't it? Where we end up with
Are you talking about our other filming project? that we're
a
doing?
little filming project
Yeah.
that we're doing, yes. So, but we'll show you what happens if things aren't quite matchy-matchy, because I should imagine when we put it all together, John.
Look, I am
If we've
going to
done
be
some
very
pieces
honest.
together.
If you are looking for someone who's going to show you precision, I'm not your person. I'm not
Warts and all,
ever
John.
going to be exactly. That's exactly what it is. But I'm not that person. I can't. I am very proud of the fact that I've made a mistake because I've made it. It's done. It's not fabric in a box anymore.
No.
And if it isn't perfect, it's fine. It's not as bad. The next one's going to be better. And even if it's not, it doesn't matter because I'm learning and I'm enjoying. This is about enjoying yourself,
Sure.
not about perfection.
And I mean, as a teacher, I mean, I've been teaching since 2011, and I will always say in every class, I want to show you how things go wrong and how to put them right, because I think that's more important than just showing you how to do it perfectly. You're not learning through those experiences.
And I think that month 10 is the one that becomes the biggest problem because
Yes.
people make blocks and they do them, but then the blocks sit there because the blocks are ever so slightly different sizes, and then you've got the pieces to fit in. So there are tips and there are things coming to show you how to fix that.
Don't
don't
fret.
panic about it. It is, do not unpick, do not redo. We will fix it and make it perfect for you. And if it's
Absolutely.
not, you've got to enjoy it. That's the whole point of it. And if it doesn't work and you still don't want to make it into a quilt, make it into a bag, make it into a cushion, give it to your mother-in-law if you hate it that much. You can do other things as well.
so mean.
What? I don't have a mother-in-law, you see, so I can't really.
I
argue.
love my mother-in-law, and she's brilliant at sewing, so I wouldn't give her rubbish. It's got to be just right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can think of a few people you can give it to.
Okay. All right, good. Although I have to say, some of the pieces that I love and keep are the pieces that were my early pieces that aren't so
Exactly.
great. And I look and I go, well, I know why those are off now, and I know why this isn't right. But
Exactly.
they are a point in time.
Exactly.
And there's a lot in history, isn't there, about quilting not being perfect, and there are certain communities who will purposely put mistakes in because you know they'll say, "No, God is perfect," or whatever else, won't they? But they make those mistakes
on purpose in order to not offend the gods.
And also sometimes it's just because it's a handmade item and they want it to have that handmade aspect. The first quilt I made patchwork on my own, not in a class, I had a fabric that had a polka dot on it and the wrong side looked quite similar to the right side. And I pieced all these squares together and I got my embroidery machine and I'd embroidered the little boy's name on one, his date of birth on another, some little boats on others, and this one square was wrong side out. And I didn't notice until I'd quilted the whole thing, and then I looked and went, bottom right is wrong side out. And it was really shouting at me, and I thought, what have I done? So I grabbed a handmade label and I hand stitched on this handmade with love label, and I gave it to them. And
they never even noticed?
No, but I did point it out and I said, that's my signature for these quilts because it shows it's handmade. And she said, that's so lovely. When she had the second baby, I had to go, hang on, for that friend, that's my signature. Because that's what I'd done for the first one.
I love it.
But you have to do this. Oh, Auntie Lizzie says, all my mistakes are intentional. Quite.
As it should be.
Vicky has had pesky work stuff. I thought she'd been quiet. She says, I'll have to watch back as I've missed loads.
Aww.
You have, because we're going shortly.
We are.
That's how it is.
Can you believe it?
The calf is calling.
I can't go to the cafe anymore.
I know.
Aren't allowed to eat food.
Well, you started talking about sausages earlier. And that, you know, that might be a thing. John, next time you're here, John.
Block 9.
Doing block 9.
Which is that one.
Look at that. She's a beaut, isn't she?
That is beautiful.
Hey?
But
That's
it's very similar to
fabulous.
what we've done already, but just a little bit different.
Gorgeous. So we'll do block 9 next month. Sometime soon.
Well, I was wondering whether, because it's English paper piecing, whether we give people a little bit longer
Possibly.
to do that.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that.
We'll
It'll
talk
all
about
be
that.
in the newsletter. Make
We'll
sure
talk
you
about that.
subscribe to the newsletter.
But regardless, John won't be off your screens for a long time because although he's going on a trip, a lovely trip, back to his homeland,
Yeah.
we have been doing our little pre-recorded series that will be coming out to you. And it might not be in our usual scheduled hours.
No, I hope not.
Might be somewhere else.
Be quite fun.
Might be at gin o'clock. What do you reckon?
I will watch it from South Africa and toasty roll.
But we will get our John fix, so fret you not.
Oh gosh, yes. We've got a few other individual ones as well coming up.
We have got all sorts of
Lots
bits
of
and bobs.
exciting
This is what we
bits.
do. Oh, mistakes are happy accidents, says Michaela,
Exactly.
Michaela. You'll have to tell me, because then I'll get it right the next time, hopefully. Or not. I'll probably forget again.
Well, you see,
terribly.
this is the problem with the lovely Izzy. I called her Lizzie on Thursday.
Oh, yes.
And then...
Mind you called me something else. Emma, I think.
It was, yes.
Yes.
But the problem is, the minute I call someone the wrong name,
Yeah.
I'm then... and I get them the wrong name then for a good 12 years.
Oh, excellent.
And
Brilliant.
his name's Paul.
Brilliant. Probably should get that one right. You know, you really should. It's been lovely to have you with us.
Thank
Please
you
do
so much
make
for
sure
joining
you
us.
check out Craft Corner, that you check out the Bolt End sale. These beautiful new fabrics from Ruby Star. They're a canvas,
They are
stunning.
beautiful. And don't forget Tracy Perk's lovely little bee as well.
Yes, and we have that pattern available. She's just scaled it down to make that size.
I know.
Which is super cute.
But the great thing with her pattern is you can scale it down even smaller to 1
Yes,
inch.
You can. Incredible. Really, really
brilliant.
lovely. Really, really lovely. Lovely to have you with us.
Thank you.
I will be back tomorrow with lovely Jane. Natasha is on holiday this week, for those that have missed it. She's sunning herself.
Well, she does
and
deserve it. You've all
nursing a
worked
bad
so
back.
hard.
Yes, she does. So Jane and I will be here tomorrow. We have got such cute and fun things for you tomorrow. We have a variety of fabulous gnome-based makes.
Kanomi, I love it.
And even if you're not a gnome person, please join us because there are other aspects to this. It's so cute.
Can I tell you a little thing
Go
that
on.
I did? Sorry, I know you probably don't want to hear. My friend's husband absolutely hates gnomes. And I mean terrified of gnomes. Really scared of them. So I may or may not have,
Oh, you're
you
so
can
mean.
decide. When I came out from South Africa, I hadn't told them that I'd arrived. And I may or may not have hidden around the corner from their house and put 4 gnomes
Oh,
outside
you're
the house.
so mean.
No, it's terrible. And I put one in the middle of the driveway, and he drove straight over the one in the driveway at speed, went straight over it.
And then I may or may not have crept inside before the gate closed and put another one at the front of the driveway in pieces.
So
he was
mean.
terrified of them. So it was a case of, and then he had a little bit of a gnome thing.
And this
for a
is
while.
why we need to be glad we don't live near John.
Well, they don't. They live in South Africa.
Oh, bless
So I
them.
took a whole collection of
You're
garden gnomes
so
over
mean.
to South Africa with me.
Oh, my
And I
friends,
left one with his wife.
my friends live in Australia, and every time they visit, they bring me a gnome.
Quite right. Do you like gnomes?
I've got one called Boss-Eyed
That
Dave.
wasn't the question.
He's all over the place.
Are you a
bless
gnome
him.
fan?
No,
Okay.
they've gone next door now. We've given them to our neighbours.
That's right. I'll bring
Our
you another
lovely
one.
new neighbours. They'll still keep going
no,
next
but I'll
door.
glam it up for you. It could be a gnome in a big fabulous
Have you seen my
outfit.
fabulous new garden? There's no
Your
way.
garden is
No way.
gorgeous.
Vicky says it'll be fun and no mistake.
It had to happen. Someone had to do it.
And she's also said, just don't get any gnome ideas while I'm away. If you give me gnomes, that's exactly where they're going, is in Vicky's very stylish modern garden. And it's Michaela.
Should we?
Michaela.
Should we? Do you think she's a Halloween person? That day,
She's
Vicky.
totally
No,
a
because-
Halloween gnome person.
What we could do is Halloween gnomes, and we can just surprise decorate her house.
You do know she can hear us.
That's fine.
Okay, good.
Well, it won't be that much.
It
of a
won't be that much of a
surprise then,
surprise
no.
now,
But
no.
the date when we do it in January.
Okay,
She will
all
be,
right,
won't
fair
be
enough.
expecting it Halloween in
Vicky,
January.
you didn't hear any of that, of course. So tomorrow I'll be here with Jane. We'll have our Gnome-tastic show. Gnomes all around.
Yep.
And then Wednesday, the most stunning quilt I think she's ever made. And some beautiful new fabrics. So join us tomorrow.
Bold new words there.
Oh, honestly, we've got all the good stuff this week because the boss is away. But yes, we'll
Gotta
see
be
you
done.
tomorrow. Nice to have you with us, and lots of love.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
See you soon.
Give everyone a wave.
Bye.
Bye.